Everything we know about HBO's new Games of Thrones prequel, Blood Moon. Daily Mail Online. Sponsored by HBO. Published 0035 BST, June 5, 2019. Updated 0053 BST, June 5, 2019. Spoiler warning. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones may be over, but if you are anything like the millions of other fans that never wanted to leave Westeros, the good news is that you won't have to. A few years ago rumors started swirling that HBO was looking at up to 5 spin-off Game of Thrones series, which many fans speculated could be anything from Arya's exploration of the West to the shenanigans of the new small council. While fans hoped that rumored Game of Thrones spin-offs would focus on Arya Stark's exploration of the West, the new show will instead be a prequel to the Westeros drama. But while there were never any genuine spin-off plans, the new shows they developed are actually prequels. HBO have reportedly whittled down their list of planned prequels from 5 down to 3, with the first, Blood Moon, kicking off production of its pilot episode as early as next month. Here is everything we know so far, and why we're seriously excited for what's to come. What is it about? HBO's official synopsis is as follows. Taking place thousands of years before the events of Game of Thrones, the series chronicles the world's descent from the golden age of heroes into its darkest hour. From the horrifying secrets of Westeros history to the true origin of the White Walkers, the mysteries of the East to the Starks of legend, only one thing is for sure, it's not the story we think we know. The Starks of Legend. The Blood Moon prequel series winds back the clock to long before Ned Stark's time, 5,000 years before Game of Thrones, in fact. This synopsis raises as many questions as it answers. Firstly, thankfully, A Song of Ice Fire author George R.R. Martin has since clarified on his blog that the prequel takes place around 5,000 years before the events of Game of Thrones. But the world that we know looks significantly different. There's no King's Landing. There's no iron. Spilling the beans. George R.R. Martin revealed that the new show won't feature King's Landing, the Iron Throne, or dragons, so what will there be? So if it's not about dragons and the Iron Throne, what can we expect? Well, there's a hint in the titles being thrown around. What is it called? The project was actually referred to by many as The Long Night before the final season of Game of Thrones featured an episode of the same name. A clue? That episode the original working title for the prequel project, The Long Night, became the name for the Game of Thrones Season 8 battle between the Northern armies and White Walkers. There's also a hint in Season 1 of Game of Thrones with Old Nan talking to the future King of Westeros, aka Bran Stark, about what Westerosi historians refer to as the Long Night. Thousands of years ago, there came a night that lasted a generation. In that darkness, while this does make it sound like the prequel could be a Night King origin story, the answer is actually more complex. What makes a king? Some suggest just this month, Martin referred to the project as the one I am not supposed to call they. This title carries just as many hints. A blood moon sounds like a long, dark night. The Children of the Forest played a huge role in the pre-Game of Thrones Westeros universe, leading many to believe they will feature heavily in prequel storylines. We also know that Martin draws a lot of inspiration from real history, and some theories suggest a blood moon could represent the apocalypse or the second coming of Jesus Christ, which sounds a lot like Martin's Azor Ahai prophecy, the hero that brings the dawn and ends the long night. The lead up to the Long Night was a fascinating time in Westeros, as the first men battled the Children of the Forest. Children eventually created White Walkers as a defense against the first men, and helped to create the first three-eyed Ravina, and we now know how that ended. Who is behind it? Jane Goldman is the showrunner, and has teamed up with Martin to flesh out the story. Goldman has already. S.J. Clarkson is directing the pilot episode, and a host of executive producers have already been signed on, including James Farrell, Jim Danger Gray, Vince Girardes, and Daniel Zellman. Jane Goldman, a writer on films including Kingsman, X-Men, and Stardust, has been confirmed as the showrunner for HBO's Game of Thrones prequel pilot, Blood Moon. If that seems like a lot of people, it's because the budget is already huge. Game of Thrones supposedly started filming with a budget of less than $6 million per episode. While Blood Moon is, HBO's senior VP of drama, Francesca Orsi, told a panel audience that the budget was well over the rumored $50 million for the first season of Thrones. $50 million per season would never fly for what we are trying to do. We are going big. Who is starring in it? While we don't know what characters they're playing, or where their fate lands on the scale from Ned to Arya, we do know who will be starring in the prequel. The first casting announcement was Naomi Watts, who HBO said would be playing a charismatic socialite hiding a dark secret. Queen Naomi. Aussie Naomi. Since that announcement, more details have emerged. So far, the list includes Miranda Richardson, Jamie Campbell Bower, Georgie Henley, Marquis Rodriguez, John Sim, John Heffernan, Richard McCabe, Josh Whitehouse, Naomi Ackie, Alex Sharp, Denise Goff, Toby Rigbo, Sheila Atim, Ivano Jeremiah, and Dixie Ajerix. Where is it filming? Initial reports suggest filming has kicked off in Belfast and Glenariff, Northern Ireland. Belfast is the home of Game of Thrones, and Glenariff has, in the past, been used for location shots of the Vale of Arryn. Northern Ireland is the home of Game of Thrones, and it seems that filming for the Blood Moon prequel will take place in many of the same locations as the iconic TV series. So, when will we see it? Blood Moon is in production as we speak, but that is for the pilot episode only. If the pilot knocks, long story short, we probably won't be seeing Blood Moon until 2021, which leaves so much more time to speculate or just re-watch Game of Thrones from right back at Season 1, Episode 1. The entire Game of Thrones digital box set is now available whether you need all 8 seasons, or just the final installment to complete your collection. Download now from the HBO or by posting your comment you agree to our. Do you want to automatically post your Mail Online comments to your Facebook timeline? Your comment will be posted to Mail Online as usual. Do you want to automatically post your Mail Online comments to your Facebook timeline? Your comment will be posted to Mail Online as usual. We will automatically post your comment and a link to the news story to your Facebook timeline at the same time it is posted on Mail Online. To do this, you can choose on each post whether you would like it to be posted to Facebook. Your details from published by Associated Newspapers Limited. Part of the Daily Mail, the Mail on Sunday Metro Media Group.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.